If you are outside the local network and don't already have a VPN setup to control your TinyPilot, you can still access your TinyPilot device over the internet by setting up a third-party cloud access tool or by forwarding ports from your router. In this tutorial, we will demonstrate setting up our most recommended third-party cloud access tool, Tailscale. Tailscale is easy to set up, offers excellent performance, and offers free accounts that are suitable for many users. If you don't already have a Tailscale account, now is a great time to set one up. Before installing Tailscale on your TinyPilot, you'll first need to enable SSH access to your TinyPilot if you have not done so previously. To enable SSH access, navigate to System, then Security in the TinyPilot web application. In the Security Settings dialog, set the Enable SSH Access toggle to active. Once SSH is enabled, you can access your device over SSH with any SSH client. Some common SSH clients include Terminal on Mac or Linux and OpenSSH via command prompt on Windows. Start a new connection in your SSH client using TinyPilot's default SSH credentials. For text-based SSH clients, connect using this command. When you have successfully connected, you will see the following prompt. For security reasons, you should select a secure, unique password after your first login by running this command. SSH into your TinyPilot device and enter the following commands to install Tailscale's client. At the end of the installation, Tailscale will print a URL that joins your TinyPilot to your Tailscale account. Copy this URL into your web browser. When Tailscale's web interface prompts you to log in, proceed through the login flow. When you're done, Tailscale will show a success message. If you visit the Tailscale Machines tab, you should now see your TinyPilot device joined to your private Tailscale network. Now, you need to join your computer to your new Tailscale network. Note that this is not the computer that TinyPilot controls, but rather the computer you use to access TinyPilot in the web browser. To add your computer, download Tailscale and follow the installation instructions. After you add your computer to your Tailscale network, you should see your computer in Tailscale's Machines tab. Now that your computer and your TinyPilot are on your private Tailscale network, you can access your TinyPilot through its Tailscale IP address. Copy TinyPilot's IP address from Tailscale's Machines tab, paste the IP into the web browser on your computer. You should now see your TinyPilot web application. You can now access your TinyPilot from anywhere on the internet through this IP address. Remember that whatever computer you use to access your TinyPilot via web browser must have Tailscale installed and linked to your account. When using your TinyPilot over the internet with Tailscale, you will likely see longer delays before your target machine registers your mouse or keyboard input. You can improve your TinyPilot's performance with Tailscale by enabling H.264 video, which is a more modern video format optimized for streaming over the internet. To switch streaming modes, visit your TinyPilot's web UI and click System, then Video Settings. In the Video Settings dialog, change Streaming Mode to H.264. For more information about tuning performance, see the FAQ article, How Can I Reduce TinyPilot's Latency? Tailscale is just one of several ways to access your TinyPilot remotely. You can find other options in our article about accessing your TinyPilot over the internet. Find links to our FAQs and support articles in the description below.